Excited to kick off this webinar, serve up some top marketing tips for 2022, in addition to having Deborah Corn rocket us into the fourth dimension with her creative collaboration ideas. So any questions that come up during the webinar, please just pop those in the chat and we'll get to them at the end. So officially welcome, Deborah. Thank you for joining us. I am absolutely thrilled to have you on with us today. I am a huge fan of all you do in the print industry, and I am sure that she is no stranger to anybody on our webinar, but Deborah Corn is the intergalactic ambassador to the Printerverse, providing inspiration and resources to print and marketing professionals through her website, printmediacenter.com. So hop on there and tap into her resources if you haven't already. She has over 25 years of experience working in advertising as a print producer. But now she works behind the scenes with printers, suppliers, industry organizations, and events to help them achieve success with their marketing and sales endeavors. So Deb, thank you so much for presenting this webinar with us. I am truly looking forward to your talk track here in just a few. So I'm going to keep it short, run through a few slides, and then we're going to get to Deb. So I am Morgan DiGiorgio, the Vice President Channel Sales for Direct Mail 2.0. And Direct Mail 2.0's mission is to make direct mail the most effective form of advertising by integrating it with cutting-edge digital marketing technology. We partner with printers all over the US that integrate our platform into their clients' direct mail campaigns, of which I can see we have some of our partners on today. So thank you for joining us, guys. For other attendees who aren't familiar with us or what we do, we have a 7 to 11 technology platform that integrates with direct mail for seamless tracking and also to lift response rates by 23 to 46% for a few pennies per mail piece. So let's get started here and dive into this. First things first, let's talk about your website, because every single piece of marketing you use is driving customers and prospects to your website. Whether it's direct mail, social, email, word of mouth, when people respond to marketing or they're searching for a print provider, they will end up on your website. So now when someone gets to your website, you want them to stay there as long as possible to drive them further into the decision-making process with captivating content. And what is most important is that your website garners lead conversion. You are spending thousands of dollars on marketing. It's all driving traffic to your website. But once they get there, you want them to convert and become a lead. So website tip number one is digital storytelling. It is not enough to just inform anymore. Noise levels on the internet are way too high and people's attention spans are way too short. But what works really well now is to enrapture your audience by telling an interesting story. Now, not a story about how your company got started. It's about telling the story of how you can help your customers succeed and how you've done it for others. Two is SEO. In our search first age, SEO should be a secret weapon of choice. SEO, in addition to your overall website health, will drive down customer acquisition costs, accelerate conversions, and it has a direct influence on revenue and reputation. Now, SEO works a little bit differently for B2B than B2C. So it's very important that you are publishing relevant content marketing on your blog, social media, and other channels, because that is what is going to come up in search and drive prospects over to your website. And SEO is super important, but honestly, it's often not a focal point. But according to Google research, in the last 2 years, there has been a 900% increase in searches that included the words near me. So soup up your SEO. Self-service online tools. So during the pandemic, buying behavior changed to completely online. And as more people are working remotely in the current time and space, offering customers self-service tools for managing print work is critical. Putting the right web to print enabled portals in place is key. A lot of customers are seeking print providers who offer quick turnaround marketing materials and signage that support a brand identity, but can also be customized at a local level. And also, customers don't always prefer face-to-face interaction anymore. They are embracing the efficiency of digital interactions with suppliers, which brings me to my next tip for websites, which is chatbots. Chatbots increase website conversions by offering quick answers to visitors' questions. And it's also adding a way for you to collect information about them that you can use in future marketing. You can program the chatbot to answer some FAQs. If a visitor asks a question they can't answer, it can connect with someone live, or it'll collect their contact information so somebody can follow up with them. Anything that makes sites easier to navigate and visitors more likely to convert is a design trend worth considering. So now that we've honed in on the end point of all your marketing efforts, let's talk about using technology to harvest those leads and use my favorite marketing channel, direct mail, to follow up with them. Not everybody is going to reach in your organization, but if they got to your website, they are interested. And there's technology out there where you can place a pixel on your website to identify unique website visitors, grab a 95% accurate address for them, tell what pages they visited so you know what they were interested in, and market to them with direct mail. You can get a business address or you can get a residential address. Now, with a business address, you get a few contacts at the business, a few hash emails, but you aren't going to know who in particular was on the site, but you can market to the business. Now, where I see the real value for you guys is in the identification of the actual decision maker's residential address, where you can send them a direct mail piece to their home. If I'm considering a few different print providers, which this is what businesses do, they shop people, get in front of me with the right messaging and the right offer to drive me back to your business. And you can also provide this technology to your clients to help them build mailing lists that you can mail to them, mail to for them, and create direct mail revenue streams for yourselves. And we see about a 9 to an 18% response rate, which is astronomical. So happy you and happy customers. And we actually have a technology that does this called Lead Match. And we can also identify and report back anybody on a mailing list that went to the website, proving the efficacy of direct mail, which is so important considering human behavior and how they respond to marketing, right? If I get a direct mail piece, I am first going to go online when I'm interested. I'm not going to call right away. I don't run into a brick and mortar location with the mail piece. At first, I go online. So how do you and your customers know direct mail is working? Well, if you can identify them with this technology, you can prove that it is. And print marketing should be a focal point of your strategy, not only because of how many remote workers we have, but because digital fatigue is real. And adding a piece of print marketing to your mix is a surefire way to grab somebody's attention. But we also have to practice what we preach. If you are marketing the utilization of direct mail, you should show your customers you use the direct mail marketing channel. And in the last couple of years, responses to print marketing have more than doubled. Now, a large part of that, which I don't know if you guys heard Deb and I talking in the beginning, is in part because of campaigns that are linking print and digital marketing. But when you send a creative, well-designed direct mail piece, it is creating an impression about your organization. It's communicating a value component. It's personal, and it's a way of reaching customers that helps to foster the ability to build a relationship. But it also pairs very well with digital channels. So deploying an omni-channel marketing solution that is the perfect marriage between direct mail and digital can actually increase response rates to direct mail 23 to 46%. And I will dive into Omni channel just a little bit further in a few minutes. This right here is specifically what we do at Direct Mail 2.0. So social channels. LinkedIn is obvious, but I can't tell you how many business owners tell me that social media won't work for them because they are B2B. And this is a huge misconception because business owners are people. They are on social media. And if I see something relevant to one of my business endeavors, I'm going to make note of it, email it to myself, and it is still making that impression. In fact, according to IDC, 75% of B2B buyers and 84% of C-suite executives use social media when making a purchase. So count this into your mix, please. technical difficulty. Let's see. I lost my screen here.
Hit the Zoom mic. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So email marketing. I hate to say it, but email does play an important role in print provider marketing. So from automation to personalization, capturing data and email timing for 2022, you should be looking into artificial intelligence to transform your email marketing strategy. Now, customer segmentation is essential. You can segment your audience into groups, you can send individualized emails to get higher ROI and higher chance of click-throughs. But splitting your audience into broad categories using just their location or industry demographics really just aren't effective anymore. In 2022, we should expect to take segmentation even further and embrace micro segments for even more personalized experiences. And this is where you can actually use AI to deliver that personalized experience based on buyer behavior. So what should we be serving up through our marketing channels? Always start with content marketing. Sales offers are going to gain higher ROI and conversion if content marketing delivering the value prop, highlighting your unique selling proposition, and solving your customers' problems is nurtured first. Also, use video. The average click-through rate for video is about 1.84% as opposed to around a 0.007 on a still ad. And video can be used on social, and YouTube is crushing it, which also happens to be the second largest search platform. So you can tap into that power. And there are also a lot of data out there from email marketing companies that show that you can actually improve your click-through rates by 65% by including video in your email. So use video. But did you know that the average consumer sees around 4,000 to 10,000 marketing messages on a daily basis? So logos on shirts, billboards, stuff on people's cars, social media, Google ads are everywhere. And you need to make your marketing messages stand out in a crowd, literally, right? And you can do this with personalization. People want to be marketed to about things that are relevant to them or based on past purchases or even based on behavior that they made on a website. And believe it or not, about 90% of consumers in the US find the idea of personalization appealing despite privacy concerns. Absolutely. I want to see ads or receive special offers for something that I need for my business from a business I was already putting as a contender in the ring for that product or service. I want to get what I need at a good rate. I want to see those offers. I want to be engaged about things that are relevant to me. And also, first-party data is where it's at for B2B marketing. You can create customized catalogs because your customers most likely won't be interested in your entire product range. You can create personalized catalogs for individual consumers that speak to their specific interests and needs based on data you've collected regarding their browsing or maybe their past purchase history. Now, if you don't want to create an entire personalized catalog, you can use personalized inserts to send them coupons or time-dependent discounts. But when customers realize that you understand what they want and are treating them as something special, you will deepen brand loyalty and customer engagement. So for 2022, omnichannel is the way. Okay, and you're seeing and hearing about omnichannel from marketing experts from every angle. There's articles in Printing Impressions magazine. Google boasted about how they doubled their profit from omnichannel, and now even USPS is on the bandwagon. So check this out. Actually, I'm involved in like 100 different things. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I don't practice except my personal investing, but USPS doesn't know that. And I just got a direct mail piece from them yesterday highlighting omnichannel marketing and to incorporate direct mail into my omnichannel strategy. Like, hey, Morgan, you're an agent, you know, we want to incorporate direct mail into omnichannel, tear this out and send it back. So omnichannel marketing is actually where you are delivering the same cyclical messaging over and over through a multitude of channels. And this is the best way to stand out in the sea of marketing messages. And the Direct Mail 2.0 platform is actually an omni-channel marketing approach where we're serving up that same messaging that is going out on your direct mail through a bunch of different channels to increase that response to the direct mail marketing. So just to give you some math here, okay, this is an example of multi-channel. Yes, this is a B2C example, but you'll get the idea. So this is Starbucks. We know it's Starbucks. As you can see here, every single ad here looks a little bit different, right? It's not necessarily going to impinge. Now, this is an example of omni-channel marketing. And as you can see here, we've got the direct mail, the billboard, the digital ads. You see the Gecko, the Geico, and the 15 minutes or more could save you 15%, right? It's impinging. It's creating that recognition and a true brand awareness for the ads that you're seeing because it's streamlined, it's seamless, and it's recognizable. This is omni-channel. Now, in addition to providing a cyclical branded message, we need to garner repetition and do so consistently through multiple channels because we never know when somebody is going to convert or how far along they are in the decision-making process. Marketing is a long game. It is not a sprint. It is never a one and done, regardless of what the channel is. And, I'll talk to our partners sometimes about their self-promo campaigns. Maybe they mail once and they'll say, well, it didn't work. I didn't get a response. Well, we know that 80% of sales occur between the 8th and the 12th touch. So we need to keep going. We wouldn't see a billboard go up and come down in the same day. And we don't treat our other marketing channels in a one and done fashion either. We have to provide as many opportunities as possible through a multitude of channels with cyclical omni-channel messaging to create a serendipitous moment when a customer is ready to convert and the stars align with your messaging, right? So that's all I got. I'm going to hand it off to Deb. If you're interested in learning more about Direct Mail 2.0 and what we do, I'll pop our information in the chat. But I'm super excited to hand it off to Deborah and hear what she's got for us.
Excellent. Okay, that was great. I actually took some notes during your presentation. To either, I guess everyone can see that. Let me just get onto the slide. Oh, I was adding notes. Okay, everyone can see that, yeah? We're good, Morgan? I'm assuming
Yes, I got it.
Okay, cool. All right. So I put this slide up not to review it. I just wanted to, throw that out there. So some of you might say, oh, that's a lot of people she interacts with and has cultivated into, I don't really like to say audience. I do like the word community. I'm still going to keep using it because I feel like I have a relationship with the people, which is why I think it's a community and not an audience. It's not just all these people, not just people I spew information to. I looked at the list. I see so many people in that list that I know and that I can't wait to see again out in the real world. Everybody matters to me. And even though there's a lot of people in it, but the reason I'm showing you this is because this webinar is about marketing tips. And to me, there is no greater marketing tip than starting to cultivate collaborative relationships with customers as we move out of the pandemic. And so I wanted to establish my collaboration credibility by showing you those numbers and letting you know that I do have a little experience in this area. So where are we now? I truly believe that all of us, meaning everybody pretty much on planet Earth, is in one of these conditions. Either, the last 2 years has not been good and you're in the red zone. Yellow, maybe you've been, treading water and now you're in that decision-making point, but you're still cautious about anything you're going to do, especially spending money on marketing materials. And then green, there are some people that really did very well over these last 2 years. More power to them if they were not on the evil side of things, but it's important to understand that, as people in the printing industry, especially if you have digital printing equipment, it always makes me chuckle a bit that you want to sell customers on variable data printing, but you don't really have a variable data message when you're speaking to customers. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. If we want to call this a tip, is that develop talk tracks for these 3 different types of people, because they have different obstacles that they're facing. They have different business goals. They have a different long-term goals. Oh, I said long-term instead of short-term goals, and long-term goals. And it's really important that you are addressing people where they are, so you also don't freak them out. People in the red do not want random sales calls from people. People in the yellow, maybe they'll entertain it, but it has to be very relevant, or they're just going to say, why are these people calling me? I don't, you're annoying me. I don't want to hear from you again. So be very careful of that. So in general, where are people that are out there in the world, business to business, that might need print? Where are they now? The users of print and business owners mostly. And by the way, us as well. I'm certainly doing this. I'm resetting. Who am I now? What does my business stand for? What are the kind of customers I want to work with? What are the things that suck up my time that I do not want to do anymore? Who are the people that are the customers, or that are sucking up my time? That is, I need to, get rid of that. How do I find more of the people that I can actually, live a life working and have them as customers? Reestablishing their business. And that could be as much as we're open. These are our new hours. It could be, it's anything that has been going on over the last 2 years that they need, are thinking about. And certainly one of the things they're thinking about is re-engaging with communications in some manner. What they want to talk about happens, it depends upon where they are in the traffic light of, emotion. Let's call it that. Oh, that TM, Sandy's not here, but I TM things when I don't want anyone else to steal it. So TM on the traffic light of emotion. Everybody's looking for new customers. So you can just assume that that's their problem. You don't need to do an exploratory on their pains. Start there. Now, even the green people might still be looking for customers, or they might be looking for ways to get more wallet share out of their current customers, because as we're fully aware, there are some supply chain issues. They might not be able to have their print shop, running at 80% capacity. They can't get new customers. So, everybody has their own set of problems. Just understand what they are before you reach out. This is really a critical point to understand, and where I differ a little with, and Kate Dunn is out in the audience as well. It's where I differ a little in the prospecting area, because I don't really think that everybody is necessarily a sales target these days. I think you really have to be able to find the people that really need the help, and have, as we moved from print being an essential industry, right? When the pandemic first kicked off, now we have to think of it more that print is essential spending for many of these people in the yellow and red zone. And in that, what are the things that are essential to them to market on, right? It would be critical communications. We're open, we moved, we've consolidated locations. These doctors are no longer with us. I mentioned this at the Direct Mail 2.0 conference. My dentist closed. I had no idea till I called to get an appointment. No postcard, no nothing. And now I have to find a new dentist. Education that leads to sales, customer retention, customer loyalty. We had a lot of that going on during the pandemic. Still very important now, and appropriate marketing. I've only recently seen some very brave people advertising cruises. I still don't understand it. If you watch the news, there's a couple of cruise ships floating around. They're not letting land anywhere. But yet I still haven't seen like high-end vehicles. I haven't seen any luxury things. Still no like, everybody pack up the family and go to the Caribbean. Like it's still not exactly appropriate in all neighborhoods and all businesses and all things to talk about that. So you've just got to be really careful. And again, it happens, it all falls under the traffic light of emotion. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Can I see the chat if I click that? I can see the chat. Okay, great. All right, so I can see the chat. So I really would love feedback as I'm going along. I'll just keep looking over there. So far, this is where we are. And I'm assuming everyone agrees. I'm glad that Kate Dunn agrees, and she's a great person to, consult as far as how do you, start communicating with these people. So back to this. So one of the most important things is customer convenience. And this is not just because nobody has time for anything, but think about how you have been living your life for the last 2 years. I want something. Let me do a little research online and let me push a button and it will come to my house tomorrow. I have ordered things at traffic lights. I ordered 2 things creating this presentation that I forgot to order the day before. So customer convenience. It also relates to targeting and not pitching. There's a big difference between, hey, I'm calling to find out if you got any work for me this week, and hi, I want to talk to you about getting involved in the mobile shopping program that the UPS is offering, because your business is right for this. I see that you have a website that is optimized. You have online shopping. This is something we should do. I'd like to come over and speak to you about your business goals, not your printing, your business goals, short-term and long-term, so we can develop campaigns together and see if we can't make that happen. Now, a lot of printers are probably out there going, that's a marketing person's job, but we will get to that. Productize, portalize, which is a word I think I made up, and educate. This goes to think of your website as a showcase and not a website. And if I wanted to buy a piece of furniture, I would go to a furniture store and I'd click on couches. And there are all the couches I could possibly want, conveniently laid out for me, so I know what to look. Now, think of it along the line as, hi, welcome to our website. Are you looking to attract more customers to your business, drive more online ordering? Click here. Grow your business, click here. Whatever the business might be, get more people to register for your events, click here. And you then put everything that they need to know in that little portal, in that productized, meaning here's a package for dentists. Here's a package for a florist, which I'll get into in a second. But the point is that they don't have to think and you don't have to sell, because everything they need is on that page, and then they are choosing what they want. They don't feel pressure. It's essential spending that they are in control of, and you are just there to help them. Now, the educate part is up to you, whether it's on the website, whether it's, I completely agree with Morgan that printers should, utilize their own tools, and every a direct mail campaign targeting the businesses that could be in a position to work within your system and educating them that to provide, we know you're busy. We know you're reestablishing your re-engagement. We've got you. Everything you need for this law firm is right here. Go ahead and do it. And then what you could do on your end is good, better, best it. So you're upselling or upgrading is really what I think of their materials. Good is, it's our temp. And by the way, everything you do here that a customer is going to participate in and maybe just send you information, you have to have the files or you're going to deal with, crazy customer files. But the whole point is that you're making it a customer convenience and easy for them. And this goes into initiating repeatable programs. I host a thing called Print Chat. It used to be on Twitter. Now it's on LinkedIn. And last week, I read an article that Taco Bell offered a subscription program for tacos. And you paid like $10 a month and it entitles you to a taco a day. They launched it in Tucson, Arizona. They had a 20% increase in taco sales and a 20% increase in revenue from selling these subscription cards, and 80% or something of the people who bought the subscription, which lasted 30 days. So you got 30 days worth of one taco for $10, re-up the card. So it was an amazing experiment. Apparently they're going to be rolling it out, but whatever the fee is going to vary by location. So one of the things you can do for customer convenience is to come up with your own printing subscription program. And I love to use florists as the example here because it's an easy example. If you walk into a florist or do a little research, you'll probably find out that there are 10 to 15 flower selling moments during the year that they know about, that they have sales for, that they market for, that they put little ads in the local papers for. I mean, you know what they are: Mother's Day, graduation, holidays. You know of Valentine's Day. I mean, you know what the flower holidays are, as well as birthdays and special occasions that are personal to people. But for all of those sales, the florists are, marketing. What if you had templates for window clings and, postcards and all that other stuff that they can market, that you divide it out by the amount of times that they want to have sales during the year. You put a price on it and that's it. They sign once, you make a payment plan with them, customer convenience. Every month, every time before that sale, a certain amount of lead time, you get the information from them. What's the length of the sale? What flowers are on sale? How much are roses for Mother's Day? What for Valentine's Day? Whatever it might be, you control everything. You type in their information. For the bonus, you bring it over to their florist, to the store. You peel off the other cling, you put up that cling, and you leave. And they are customers for life. So start thinking about how you can get people to sign on the dotted line and never think about it again. Something else I was just going to say is a bonus. If they are going to hang things themselves, which, you don't want to get involved with that, no problem. Give them a branded Windex, that you put in a neutral bottle that you brand for yourself. Give them a little squeegee with your logo on it, so they always remember that you're the person to call for anything about this. Now, no one's chatting or commenting, so I want to know if people think that's a good idea, a crazy idea. So chime in over there as I go on. Okay, good. All right, so people are into it. Okay. Provide data for decisions. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not buying things these days unless I understand what's in it for me, which is not a great attitude to have in all cases. But we are just really needing, especially business owners. I mean, For me, it's more a matter of, if I'm going to invest, I just invested in some audiovisual equipment, but I couldn't get something else because I did that. So I need the data. The customers are going to need the data for decisions. And when it comes to that, that is why I'm literally sitting on the Direct Mail 2.0 webinar. They've got it in the dashboard. And I know this because a couple of years ago, I was like, this all sounds too good to be true. And I'm not trying to sell Direct Mail 2.0 here. I'm telling you customer convenience, right? This is what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about digital marketing. I really, other than the value, the benefit of it, but I don't know how to do it. I'm not a Google person or anything like that. And I don't really use direct mail. I'm one person. My channels are different. But I was having an event and I also wanted to see, what is the value here of any of this, of retargeting and remarketing and all of the really valuable information that can be ascertained from the dashboard at Direct Mail 2.0. So I put out these ads, and I can't believe, the amount of engagement, but it's the reporting. And I was able to look at that dashboard and say, okay, I'm not really sure how it works. I'm not really sure what's going on, but thank God I don't have to worry about any of that. All I have to do is open up this dashboard and then say, this is what happened. This many people have visited your website. This is how many people we can identify and help you move forward in communicating with them. That is customer convenience. Customer communication. Now, before, I can't see my notes, but before, Morgan mentioned that printer, I was talking about omni-channel marketing, and that there should be multiple touch points. And I completely agree with that. But I want to start one step before that. And we're out of the relevant business, and now we're in the useful business. Time is absolutely the commodity that nobody has any wiggle room anymore. Yes, I'm a small business. Yes, I need new customers. Yes, you can help me. That is all relevant information. But is it useful to me right now in this moment of time? And is that business that's marketing to me turning me off, freaking me out because I'm in a red or a yellow zone and it's confusing? So make sure that information is useful right now for that person to engage with you further. And that engagement could be following you on social media. It could be reading a blog. Don't think it means, hi, I saw this and I want to buy something from you. There is a long tail of that. And I'm glad that Morgan reviewed websites, because that is where it starts. If your house is not in order, you can't even get involved in any of this to begin with, because even though you're sending great messages, when I go to look at your website and you're talking about integrating technology and I can't access it on my phone, that's a problem. So after it being useful, is it relevant for that particular customer? It's not a spray and pray world that we live in anymore, nor do we have to with digital printing. So tell more of the story to that customer, why it's relevant for them. And think of it as more as a strategic business alliance than prospecting. Always have a clear call to action and next steps for customers. And this is something I realized I really had to get myself locked down about. Click here to read more. I don't have time to click here to read more and weed through all this information to get to the one thing that you're trying to communicate with me about. Now, this is a different way for us to think about marketing in a lot of ways. We're used to like, here's the big offer. And unless there's like a personalized URL or a QR code that's 100% about me or something like that, or the calls of action are going to be like, read every speaker that's going to be in this conference and read about every product and service I offer, instead of really just saying, I'm speaking to you about retargeting and remarketing. Click here to learn more about that specifically, and really make it clear for them, or offer them, click here to register for a webinar on this. And even if you can't, click here to get a video of a recording, whatever it is, clear call to action. Think of it as milking the cow, not buying the cow. Educate and move them down the need of your help. And for me, a sale is when a need and a relationship meet. I mean, yeah, you can get lucky. You can call someone and, they could be like, thank God a printer called me. I didn't know what I, was going to do with this, my wedding invitations, thank God you called me. Or, you could be a little more targeted about that. So the most important thing is that as you're communicating with people in any of these three scenarios, you want to establish trust, that you understand you're part of this world. You just want to help them grow their business, get back on their feet, reestablish, find more customers. You're not there to sell them. You're not there to sell and make money from them. You're there to help them. They have to feel that. Become a resource remember, this is all in collaboration too, because you're strategically advising their business now. You're part of you want to become part of their business plan. How to help them achieve their goals. Their goals can also be creative as well, in that you want to become a resource. What are some new finishing opportunities? There's lots of ink opportunities out there. I don't necessarily know if I talk about paper at the moment. I don't want to twist the knives, people out there. I'm with you on that, but it's topical. Just got to be careful, unless you're sitting on some supply of paper that probably shouldn't tell anybody about. Become an advisor. This could be a designer submitting a file to you. And now there's all different types of printers out there. Some printers are just like, oh God, I've got an order, whatever they want, just do it. Don't rock the boat, just print it and get it out of here. Other people could be like, no, we're not doing that. Here's what we're doing. Or you could have another approach, which is more like, hi there. Everything you've asked for, we can do 100%, but we just want to let you know, if you slightly decrease the size of that piece of whatever it is, we can fit more on the press and we can actually save you a lot of money. Okay. Am I ever not going to call that printer again? I mean, that is the advisor I want to work with. Somebody who's telling me what's in it for me, and showing me that they care more than those other people who are just going to, and by the way, I'm not going to think very highly of those other bids if I'm a triple bid person. Well, why didn't they tell me any of this? I'm going to start being very skeptical about those other people. Become an idea generator. And if there's one tip that I hope I can get through today, is that the days of printers sitting back and waiting for orders to come are over, whether it is through your website, whether it is through digital marketing, bringing people to you, or whether it is literally coming up with ideas and new products and services and pitching them and finding customers and pitching them. Printers have to become idea generators, and therefore you create the business for your own products and services. I understand it's not the way that most people are used to doing things, but this is kind of where we are now. And to succeed, this is not a bad idea. All of this, everything I've said here, everything I've said on the previous slide, helps you to lay the collaboration foundation. And honestly, if I look back at everything that I received in my mailbox for 2020 and most of 2021, it was all collaboration in a different way. It was a lot of customer loyalty things, a lot of customer retention things, Nobody wanted me to leave, even though I couldn't travel, even though I couldn't go to hotels. When I was traveling, was going to hotels, it was at a big enough volume that American Express and Delta were like, oh, we don't want her out of our ecosystem here. So let's keep communicating. Let's keep saying, look, we've got you. We're going to extend your reward programs. We were with you, and I'm still with them because of that. All of that being said, now we get into the crazy fun Deborah Corn stuff. So if anybody hasn't ever experienced a webinar with me, and I don't think that you should have or shouldn't have, I'm in the crazy idea business. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how to manifest everything I just said in some practical, real life way. And it is all derived from something I call the TV strategy. And I have spoken about this before, and I will use some examples people have seen, might have seen before, but I have some new ones as well. The TV strategy started off in early on in the pandemic. And I had worked in advertising for over 25 years, and I'm fully aware that most of the money is spent on broadcast. And not only that, but it's also where the brands establish their messaging, their goals, their campaign, and everything else comes from there. So I was very interested in how the brands were going to start. They certainly weren't going to stop advertising. So how were they going to handle the fact that people were locked in their houses at a certain point, that there was, I don't need to review what happened during the pandemic, but you understand it makes brands very nervous. Anything like this, they don't want to be associated with it. So how do they get around it? The cars were by far had the biggest transformation during the pandemic. And it all started off with, and by the way, these are actual photos I took of TV commercials. So I'm not making any of this up. This is what I was seeing on TV. So in the beginning, you had that solitary car on the road. One day we'll be together again, taking on the great road. Everybody knows that voiceover that we heard for a year. One day we'll be together again. Then we moved into, as we started seeing more commercials with cars in them in general, it was interesting that fast food jumped on it very quickly because somehow everyone felt the car was a corona-free zone because it was, it's a bubble, right? So therefore, going in your corona-free car to a drive-through somehow was okay. But by the way, there were only families in the car. There were no friends. It was only immediate family. Then we started seeing the evolution in the car commercials where now, notice on the right, it's a family. They're isolated. You don't see anybody else at this park. Arrived in their safe corona-free car and started road tripping, which made me start thinking, okay, if everybody's going on road trips this year, we have a boom in supplies that 3/4 of the people in the United States do not have. Where were they going in the summer? They were going to the woods. Do they have camping equipment? No. It became a marketing moment for supply stores that sold camping supplies. So they all became targets for printers to say, hey, everybody's about to be road tripping. Let's get sales out there. They need everything that they could possibly need. Warmer clothing for the night. Anything that you might need for car trips. And then the evolution kept going. At a certain point in time, towards the end of 2020, it was really, by the way, everybody, I think I'm going to go a little over. So if you have to leave, I'm sure there'll be a replay, Morgan. Yes. And yes, I'm willing to share my slides if anybody wants them. But either hang in with me or get the replay. But Morgan, unless you want me to really speed up, I don't have a lot more, but I'm definitely going to be over 3.
Do your thing. Do
Okay,
your
thank
thing.
you.
We'll get a recording.
Okay, excellent. All right. So towards the end of 2020, an amazing shift happened with everybody selling, with the people selling cars. So now the car was not just being advertised as a corona-free zone and a safe spot, but now that all these people were taking car trips and having their families in the car companies didn't actually realize, oh, this might be a really good time to sell cars. Now, in the beginning of the pandemic, they were giving them away, literally. You signed a contract and you didn't have to start paying anything for 3 years. I'm not kidding. I took that slide out of this, but I do have a slide that gives those terms. What they shifted to once they realized that people needed cars was, you're going to pay whatever price that dealer says the car is, but now we're going to throw in extra added value. All those packages you would never take normally. The big horn package, the whatever these power days things, all those add-ons, added value. They were no longer discounting cars because they didn't have to. So this became an evolution of me discussing with printers, let's stop discounting and let's follow this suit. Now, if people are now willing to pay retail for things again, with what you're willing to do, with the bonus of getting something on top of that, then let's shift thinking of it that way. Instead of, everybody, the first couple of months of pandemics, everybody did what they had to do, and I don't blame it, but it was a race to the bottom with pricing, and customers got used to it. Now they're going even further. So they are selling cars at full price now. They don't even care. They're not even giving this stuff away anymore because everybody needed new cars. They certainly didn't have, a lot of people had cars that went to the station. They didn't have cars to drive their family across the country to see the Grand Canyon. This is a little different, but this is also interesting because I could say this is a higher end lease, a higher end purchase. So BMW now, first commercial I saw for anything other than an affordable family car, by the way. Yes, I agree, Kristen, who said the car market is on fire, 100%. Now they're incorporating voice assistants into the cars. Now, this is really interesting, and it is something that will eventually end up in all of the cars. But right now, this is a big differentiator for BMW. And Mercedes actually has one too, but they have their own. Mercedes has their own voice system. This one integrates with, with Alexa. She's next to me, so I didn't want to say it too loud. Here's where it gets interesting. This is a company called DS Graphics Universal Wild, who was gracious enough, after I stalked them for 2 days. I was at the Think Ahead at Canon Solutions America for their has a conference with Think Forum called Think Ahead, and I was there this year. And Christopher Wells from DS Graphics Universal Wild presented about the integration of Alexa into direct mail. I need everybody to absorb that, because think about this. If you don't even have to open it up to make a donation to a nonprofit, and I saw somebody speaking about nonprofits in the chat before. Oh, I should have turned it off. Alexa, make a donate. Okay. Oh God, sorry everybody. Alexa, please stop. That name. Stop. That note, that name, make a donation to the Red Cross. That name, open up, information for whatever it is. In this case, it was to ask this company about the campaign that was coming. And as I said, I contacted the company, and very generously, they sent me a much better photo. That was my photo of his presentation at a conference. So I got the manifestation of it. This is where we're going, people. This is customer convenience. This is something, if you can, work out how this works out, then you have something really different, really amazing, a new conversation, and it's still in your same ecosystem. And if the voice prompt leads to a mobile store, which it happens to do in this case, you might also be entitled to some of those, USPS discounts. RVs, I don't even know if they can still get RVs. They might be on back order, but if you have an RV dealer near you and they're not doing a direct mail campaign, they are ripe for speaking to about their business goals, short and long term. They actually might have a waiting list for people. How are they? That's your moment to say, well, we need to keep talking to them while they're waiting, or they might purchase somewhere else. So maybe it just becomes 10 great things you can do on your next road trip adventure, whatever it might be. Get involved if you can in this space. It is very lucrative at the moment. And I just also want to go back. There's a whole RV culture. That they like, there's clubs, there's special places to park Airstreams and things like that. I mean, getting involved, maybe somehow you come up with a map, whatever it is. Be clever, be collaborative, and try to help these businesses while they're trying, waiting to get vehicles in people's hands. There's a whole new way of buying cars, by the way. I hope people have noticed this. You don't even have to go to a car dealer anymore. The first time you sit in your car is when it arrives just like this in your house. What are those systems? Do you have any in place? Have you seen that Carvana thing? It looks like a dispensing machine for cars. So the whole point is that there's new processes, there's new opportunities, and I haven't gotten any marketing about any of this system. I might just not have it near me. But the point is that if you're not watching TV, you're not going to know about it. So it is an opportunity, if you have anything like this near you, to help them say, let's tell more people about this. People are still using the backyard as staycation. What do they need? Now, when the pandemic first kicked off, it was March, so I missed spring, but I went right to summer. And if people were staying home, what did they need? It could be anything from lawnmowers to furniture to pools in ground. I mean, there was a pool shortage. You couldn't get a pool in 2020. This is not exactly going away. It's loosened up a bit, but you can still think of the backyard as a staycation zone. So we're in winter now. We're going to move to spring. So thinking about that, we're back to florists and planting bulbs, and maybe I still think garden furniture is relevant and any sort of lawn care stuff, but it's still an opportunity. So while people are in that red and yellow zone and still not going away and doing things like that, think of all the things and the businesses that you can talk to create direct mail campaigns, to establish new business under this. Make your staycation better with new furniture, like make your staycation, a gourmet holiday with this new outdoor grill. I might TM that, but there you go. There's some crazy ideas. Retail. Anytime anybody puts apocalypse at the name of the back into something, it's never good. Wait, you're selling what it could be, not what it is. Yes, sir. Michael, I completely agree with you. And just a quick story about that. My sister-in-law started off the pandemic by they didn't want to sit inside their house anymore, so they went outside into the backyard, put up a sheet, and like I got a little projector and a projected video, Netflix onto a sheet. I would say within 4 months later, they had a full Bluetooth enabled movie theater in their backyard. So yes, we're complete in a tent, no less. So they really made that backyard like a vacation destination. It's really incredible. But yes, exactly. Nobody thinks of their backyard as a movie theater. They also didn't think of like parking lots as movie theaters, but there was an opportunity for that too. Let's get back to retail. I can't let a good comment go. Retail apocalypse. I'm not going to read this. You can read it. This was the stat from early last year about all the stores that had closed in 2020, and these were the ones that were claiming that were in bankruptcy as of March 21. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because to me, I just see a whole bunch of displaced shoppers who will have no option but to go online unless you can find the local people who were shopping in Pier 1 imports and say, hi, store that sells Indonesian vases and other, crafts from around the world. There was a Pier 1 2 miles from here. It's closed. Let's tell everybody that you're here in case they're looking for any of that. Lots of gyms, lots of Bath and Beyonds. I mean, California Pizza Kitchen, if that closed, there was an opportunity for every other pizza shop to steal their customers, right? So literally drive around your neighborhood, in my neighborhood, stores are still closing. If you see things closing, going out of business, look for the businesses that were their competition and say, we have a moment in time now to get those people to you before they go to Amazon. These are the stats as far as retail stores going through the next 5 years and all the types of stores that will be closing down. Again, just a prompt for you to get an idea of who you might be able to speak to about that. Now, of course, miraculously, I looked up, as I said, I always every time before I present, I check my stats, I check my facts and make sure that they are up to date. So I'm presenting, I'm making sure that this is a useful presentation. I know it's relevant. I want to make sure it's a useful use of your time. So retail has made a comeback. Look at this. So last year, all those stores closed in 2020, but in 2021, a whole bunch of them opened up again. Again, what are the stores that are opening in your neighborhood? Get in there and help them market to the neighborhood. And how do we do that? We create packages. We're open package, we're closing package. Perhaps we've consolidated, we've moved, we have these sales coming up. Here's the good, better, best. All you have to do is give us the information and we will create everything you need. Sign on the dotted line for the quarter, for the year, for whatever it might be. Yes, whoever just said sell the benefits, not the features. Geo-target and gang up every door direct mail. Now, this is a really crazy idea. However, if I'm not sure I'm assuming that everybody out there gets a Val pack, those coupons you get for your neighborhoods. What if you targeted a strip mall or a shopping district, and you went to each of those stores and you say, we're going to send a direct mail piece. And with the every door direct mail, you can stick a bunch of stuff in an envelope. So you can create your own Val pack. But the difference is it is not trying to send me 40 minutes from my house or 40 minutes from another business. You're literally just targeting that row of stores or that block or that area, which becomes more valuable data for decisions, right? Oh, I've done these things all the time, and it targets everybody. It's not bringing people to me. But I might come to that strip mall, that shopping area, because of the coupon from the pizzeria, because my California pizza kitchen closed and I need to try it out. And while I'm there, I see there's a dry cleaner next door, or I see something else. So there is a weird opportunity here, and you can figure it out. So start thinking about, especially those red people who are just going to say no and say, you're just trying to sell me something. No, we're just trying to help you. And the more people we get involved in this row of stores, the less expensive it is and the more valuable it is for everybody else. I mentioned before, the USPS has promotions all year, mobile shopping, mobile shopping, mobile shopping. Everybody's online. There's not even a big requirement. It's not like that mobile shopping has to link to a giant e-commerce store. It just needs to link to the ability to purchase. So if that means that, okay, hold on. Consult the United States Post Office. I'm not giving advice on getting things through the mail, but you do have to speak to them. You do have to apply for these programs. So speak to your local post office, although I'm sure your rep from DirectMail 2.0 knows everything about this as well. Host Zoom events for local businesses. Get in touch with the Chamber of Commerce. Talk to them about your retail recovery program, your restaurant recovery program, your downtown, midtown, uptown recovery program, which is everything I've been talking about, just in a fancy little name where everything is productized and portalized, and all someone has to do and say, yes, I'm a business and I want to grow my business. Click here. Here's every type of print marketing, digital marketing that we offer, and we can help you do all of this. We still haven't gotten back to the big reopening of buildings and businesses. It is coming, although it will be different. I've read a million articles that say that many businesses are going to go to that are currently remote, for example, like the ones that, for example, advertising agencies. Not a lot of people in anything like that these days, So they're going to move to a 3-2 work week or a 2-3 if they can get the creatives back in the office, which I really don't think they will be able to do. But let's just assume they can. So 3 days they'll be in the office, 2 days they get to work from home, or 2 days they have to go to the office and 3 days they have to go. This is the proposed plan. Some businesses are trying it this quarter. Others are waiting to see if the people in the first quarter got anybody back. The point is that there are these companies springing up all over the place that clean office spaces, that show people that it's safe and clean, sterilized to go back to work. And yes, J-Lo's in it, Lady Gaga, they're not messing around with clean and sterilized, and it's not just about washing your hands. And there's more than one company doing this. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because they all seem to be franchises. So that means that they need somebody to tell businesses and buildings and management companies that they are available to come and help clean the offices and restaurants and anything else that people might be upset about. Nursery schools, there's a reason why they're showing kids here. Now, I'm not saying public schools, but there are private schools. You all know the parameters of what you can make manifest in your community. And, like I said, they're franchises. So just look them up and see what's going on with them and how they are marketing. And also, it's an opportunity for that business or that building to tell occupants, residents, future tenants, future, retailers, we are, committed to your health and safety. Therefore, we have these cleaning programs going on. So it's a cycle of information and education all through mail is really the best way of doing it. Facebook and Google have been all over this. They're still over this. Look up this hashtag Small Unites. they're all going, to be learning about, how to optimize, website and use digital marketing. I kind of think it's more like fish in a barrel in there, because any business that is chatting with small unites, maybe they need some print help. So, and by the way, that is not a conversation to have. Do print, don't do digital marketing. They're already committed to digital marketing. Tell them how it works together. Tell them how print can be a digital bridge for whatever their print can be a digital bridge to whatever their electronic marketing goals are. And yes, I agree with Jennifer Tate. Combination is what works. And Morgan said that too about omni-channel, but it has to be useful and relevant. Facebook is, Facebook business pages. Again, if Facebook can help Coogan's, so can print. And if Coogan's is laser focused on getting people to their Facebook page, that is your targeted, useful talk track to Coogan's. We can help you get more people on your Facebook page if that is their goal, because that's where they have their menu, because they've never had online ordering before. Okay. Once you show them you could get more people on their Facebook page, then you can say, now we've collaborated, back to my word, so well on that. What are your other business goals? Do we want to start getting people back into the restaurant? Do you want to, are there certain days or nights of the week that we need more traffic? Let's strategically talk about how we can work together with your other channels and make all this happen. So your mission, after my crazy presentation, cultivate your own customers and collaborate with them. Become a resource for everything, whether it's getting someone on, how do I get someone on Facebook, or how do I get somebody to become a customer? How do I keep a customer? You're a resource on them. Become a partner. Do not sell. Help them. And of course, boldly go where no printer has gone before. Morgan, I have seen some questions in the chat. I know we are over. My apologies, everybody. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then you tell me what you want to do from here. And thank you, everybody, so much for your time and your attention.
Did you want to dive into some of the questions?
I would be happy to. I can't see them.
Okay, let's see. What would be an example for, say, financial healthcare subscription service model?
A financial healthcare? I don't understand the. I don't understand the term financial healthcare.
Yeah,
is it financial? Can the person who asked to get on?
Kelsey, if she's still on, we may have dropped some people that asked these questions. So
okay, no problem. Well, if she's there, she can.
Kelsey, if you're on, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, let's go to the next one so we don't. I'm sorry, everybody. Just scrolling the chat. Just looks like people. Oh, Kelsey says, never mind. Sorry, Kelsey.
Okay.
Thank you, Kristen. Were there any other questions? I feel bad if I missed any. Are they using J-Lo to lure them into the office? They're using J-Lo is speaking on behalf of Clean, is what she was doing there, saying you're never going to get them back into your business unless you tell them it's, and again, it's location by location. I happen to be in Florida right now, which is a little different, than the rest of the world in many ways. So there's not as much emphasis, unfortunately, on things of that nature. But there certainly is in New York City and places where the population cannot allow for things like that. Yes, Morgan, another question.
What is your best advice for printers trying to get new clients into their funnel?
Well, again, I would say that not to think of them, not to think of it as a giant group of people that could potentially work with you, but to put many fishing poles in the water, not just one with some catch-all phrasing about how you help businesses grow, but specifically speak to car washes, specifically speak to foot doctors, completely, specifically speak to marketing people, designers, specifically, which goes back to making sure your house is in order. So I don't want to get a specific message for a designer or a foot doctor, anything a medical office might need, and then have to scroll through everything you do. I just want to land directly on everything I need for a medical office marketing in one place. So that is what I would say. The more useful, relevant, and targeted you can be, not in what you do, but in how you help that business generate more money, is how you get more of those customers. Then once you break the formula on 2 florists, you get to use that as a case study for all florists. We are experts in helping florists get more customers.
Right. And then content marketing is an epic way to drive people into your funnel.
Now you have data for decisions. For the last 6 months, we have helped florists increase their revenue by 80%. We can help you do that too.
Exactly.
How? Excellent. Let me come over for a strategic planning meeting to understand what your short and long-term business goals are for this year. Not, we could sell you a direct mail campaign. No.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Deb, this was wonderful. I can't thank you enough for sharing all of your collaborative ideas. Always such an amazing resource.